J Drone here, Bugs 3 Pro there. It is windy out. This is a wind flight. This is to test, see how well this could do in about 10 mile an hour wind. The battery, just like the Bugs 2, as you can see, has a little nicks on the tip of it. It does slide out of the back just like the Bugs 2, so be aware. That's why it's not in there. That's why it was in my pocket. And the reason I told you about the wind, guys, I know some of you guys don't like the wind. I know some of you guys have said get a muffle over your microphone. I'm not doing it, and it's not because I don't like listening to suggestions. Turn this on first. Go ahead and turn this on. It is so you guys can hear the wind. Although the wind's blowing this way towards my back, maybe you won't hear it so much, but if you do, you know what type of wind we're dealing with. That should be connected there. Deet deet. That final deet deet, that's the final communication between the two. And then you have yellow lights underneath here, so we need to spin this just like we would with the Bugs 2. And the lights aren't very bright, so after about 2 spins, look underneath, you have greens. Go ahead and put your head up, put your propellers just like this, and give it about 2 spins. You should be able to see the green lights change to 2 different colors, as we should see right now. We have red and yellow down below. That means this drone's ready to go. Although we are not locked onto any satellites, so I will wait here a minute and maybe it'll lock onto some satellites. If not, we're gonna go ahead and give it a fly. You can see the grass tilting this way, so I guess the wind's actually switching from blowing this way to that way. And if we go ahead and turn around this way, you can't really see the flags over there. You can see that one blue flag moving. But again, wind flight, guys. Kind of just waiting and waiting to spam. We got 9, we got 12. We got 12 and the wind's picking up some more, but we're gonna go ahead and take off. Let's see if down and out will fire these motors. Down and out will not fire these motors. You need to hit this button or the automatic takeoff. Let's hit automatic takeoff. That does nothing without the motors fired. Let's fire our motors. Let's hit automatic takeoff. Automatic takeoff is going to bring you at about 1 meter high, just above 6 foot roughly. It's saying 1 meter, but myself, I stand almost 6 foot, and it's just a little bit taller than myself. We are locked on the satellites. It's kind of leaning this direction. Wind's trying to have its way with it. We're losing altitude. I'm gonna push up in altitude, and it's drifted over that way a little bit. 14 satellites. For the most part, staying in position. We did lose our direction. We were kind of here, and again, the whole reason for this flight is to see if this could hang and win. So let's go ahead and give it a buzz around. Give it a buzz around, guys. We're not going to take this far either. I don't have a camera on this. I don't have FPV equipment on this. This is not a range test. This is a wind test to see if this thing can hang and wind. And as noted in the first video, if you didn't see the first video, I will link that down below. This thing's pretty quiet. This thing is pretty quiet. Does not have a whole heck of a lot of punch to it. The readout on the camera through the app, there's a camera that plugs into the body of this, is pretty neat. That's good for about 200 meters. We are gonna throw a 5.8 gigahertz camera on top of this and take it for a range test to see what type of range we get at some point or another. Go ahead and spin it around this way. Moving a little bit, losing altitude. We are losing altitude. We have stopped losing altitude. Drifting a little bit. Satellite seems to have grabbed it, but the wind's messing with it a little bit. So if you are going to hover in wind, you're going to want to be up a little bit higher. That way you don't lose your altitude and crash on the ground. If we do lose altitude from here, it shouldn't be too bad. Somebody asked me if this front light, yes, the front light looks like there's going to be a little red LED in there. So that'll answer that question for you guys. Go ahead and just do a little walk around it, or we'll do a little spin around. We don't have to walk. If that'll work with the wind. The gyroscope's constantly trying to counter which way the wind's blowing. Really clean looking drone. Only improvements that I would say that I would have liked on this is, one, something to keep that battery from sliding out like the Bugs 2, and 2, this to have been made out of the same material that the Bugs 3 was made out of. The plastic shell that's on this is much like the Bugs 2's plastic shell, where if you crash this heavy, it's probably gonna break. I've crashed the Bugs 3 pretty heavy and it didn't break. So I think near future, guys, MJX, listen to me. Let's come out with a Bugs 3 Pro, a Bugs 3 GPS type drone, also that has 2 speed modes. We're stuck in 1 speed mode here unless, yeah, in the sticks aren't turning it up. That's not doing nothing. That's for your GPS. That's for headless mode, I believe. This is for nothing. The spin dial doesn't do nothing, and these buttons don't do nothing back here. Let's get 2 speed modes on this. Let's get a battery that's not gonna fall out of the back and fall on the ground. And let's get this made out of the Bugs 3 material. I'd be really happy with that. And I think everybody else would too, because I know a lot of new, dude, this drone's great for new flyers. Here, we're gonna take it out just a little bit. We're gonna take it out. I'm gonna keep my eye on it and see how far I can take it out. We're not gonna, so put this in big screen, widescreen, full screen, whatever you wanna call it. I'm gonna take it out a little bit. Try to keep my eye on it. We're raising up, raising up, raising up. Try to keep my eye on it. Maybe actually in the clouds was better. Okay, right there, I'm comfortable with where it's sitting. We're 159 meters out. We're gonna bring it backwards. The telemetry on this, the GPS on this, the makings of this drone is a great beginner's first drone for entry in the GPS level. And then if you're a non-beginner like myself, we're gonna throw FPV equipment on this and go explore with this to see if we could max out the 999 meters that this is probably gonna max out at and continue going, because MJX has a good run with range. Their controllers have a really good run with range. So despite this only having 1 speed, it's able to hang in this wind. You be well aware if you have this thing below 5.5 feet. If you're sitting 5.5 feet or lower, you are probably going to lose altitude as the wind blows and this thing tries to counter. So you want to be up above the 6 foot mark. Your controller will probably read it at 1 meters. This is a very proprietary battery, guys. That's another thing I'm not too thrilled about. I wish they would have just kept it at XT30. Keep it at XT30, we could have used all our MJX product, Bugs 3s, your Bugs 6s, your Bugs 8s, although they're smaller milliamp an hour, your Force 1s, your Force 1 Bugs 6s, I think they came out with those. But we would have been able to use the batteries, and unfortunately, I only got 1 battery for this because it's extremely proprietary. We are not carrying a load on this, guys, so this will be a full flight time test. The only way you're getting better flight time than this is if you take these legs off. If you take those legs off, you will get a better flight time and also fly in less wind. This is a fairly aggressive flight with the wind pushing against it and then this constantly trying to counter what the wind is doing. So take the legs off, fly in less wind, you'll get a longer flight time than we do here. But essentially, this is going to be my max flight time test. I don't know that I'm gonna run this on a stale day without the camera, because I want to put the Q6 on this too. Q6 Firefly, I want to get on this. I want to go for a long range FPV run as well with the AIO, AKK all-in-one camera. That's what I've used on all the other Bugs. If you've made it this far and you don't know nothing about the AKK all-in-one 200 milliwatt camera that I've surpassed about 1.3 kilometers with, I will put a link down below. Go ahead, definitely check it out. If you're looking to get into FPV, that is a great all-in-one camera. Yeah, really not punchy, but flyable. Definitely flyable. Right now we're sitting about 5'10", maybe 6 foot mark. And as you can see, the wind's shifted this way to where it's kind of backpedaling and we're gaining a little bit altitude. Let's put our nose into it. Nose is into it. As you can see, it's losing altitude a little bit. It's maintaining the position. Let's go up a little bit. Let's put our side into it. So now it's having to lean this way and counter just a little bit. It seems to be doing all right. Let's put our other side into it. So maybe it's just the nose. If your nose is facing the direction, maybe that's when you're gonna lose altitude, like we are right now. So keep that in mind. Left side, back side, right side, you're not going to lose it. Nose in it, it's going to pitch a little bit heavier than it does with the other sides, and you're going to drop altitude like we're doing right now. So definitely be aware of that. All in all, guys, a really nice drone. Really nice drone. Definitely has some things that we could improve upon that I wish we would have improved upon, but this is their first Bugs 3 GPS. So they've worked in kind of the Bugs 3 look with the more squared off look to it, same type of legs, and the mount that comes with this is like right up here as opposed to back in the body, so you don't get the legs in your picture. You can see this thing's wind's picking up, this thing's moving around, nose is in it, we're losing altitude. Let's see if my theory is right. We'll put our back end into it. Back end's into it. We're not losing the altitude that we were. We're actually mildly gaining altitude. So you have a greater forward pitch, and it's going back and it's gaining a little bit. You have a greater forward pitch that you're actually going to lose altitude when you are nose into the wind. So be aware of that. If you're just sport flying it, you might lose altitude flying directly into wind. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. Any questions, comments that you may have down below, get at me. MJX RC's link will be down below. This is courtesy of MJX RC. This was sent directly to me from them. And I absolutely love MJX. I don't love MJX because they send me stuff, because I tell you the pros and cons of this. I love MJX because I honestly love MJX. The Bugs 3 kind of sidelined my Alcenma, which my Alcenma is still my favorite drone for the versatility it has. But the Bugs 3 is an extremely, extremely versatile you fly it drone that I absolutely love. The Bugs 6 and 8s are really nice entry-level racers. And again, entry-level because they do not have acro. The Bugs 8 Pro is an entry-level acro racer because from what I know, the acro on the Bugs 3 Mini wasn't super duper crisp, but that's to be expected because we are playing with plastic gimbals here and we are not playing with hobby grade gimbals. That's my little rundown of what MJX has to offer. I don't think I've missed anything. Some of their toy grade stuff, I believe it's their Hex, their MJX Hex. Absolutely love it. Powerhouse. It's a 7.4 volt drone. You could get those pretty cheap nowadays. Bam. There's a little look at the speed. We'll come back on it. Not super duper fast. This is going to be a camera bird for you guys. And myself, I suggest canvassing stuff with this with the stock camera. You got about 200 meters to do so. So canvass a building with it. Canvass a statue. Have something in mind to fly this with. If you want to go FPV with it, again, the AIO AKK all-in-one camera is what I suggest. It's a 200 milliwatt camera. It's light. You can definitely put this on it. It's not even going to know it's on it, and you're going to be able to get range out the wazoo. And you have telemetry on this to save your butt, if anything, if you lose orientation out and about. Know your area. If you are flying FPV, know your area. I've maxed basically my FPV straight out because I don't know the area past it. I don't know what's past it. So I could have gone further on one of my FPV runs, but I didn't because I didn't know what was beyond the tree line. And if it decided to lose range and I had to go find it beyond the tree line, that wouldn't have been fun, especially at about 1.3 kilometers out. So those are things you can know. How do you know your area? Well, you could be like me and mountain bike this area and know it like the back of your hand, or you can study Google Maps. Study Google Maps, know your little trailways, know your little landmarks, know where you're going to be up in the sky, because stuff looks a lot different 50 meters, 100 meters from the sky, however high you're going to fly, looking down. It looks a lot different. Let's see here. We're going to bring it over here, put our back end towards the wind, and let it sit there a minute. See what type of time we are at. Can't see what type of time we are at. There we go. We are at, I believe, 14 minutes and change, probably with like a minute wind up. We're at about 13-minute mark. I'm still good on lights, man. I got green in the back, I got red in the rear. Your LVC on this, you won't get a beeping unless it gets really, really low, which I think we're gonna do. I think we're gonna allow the LVC to get really, really low and see what happens. Last time I did not do that, so I didn't get a full flight time. And my buddy was flying, and here my drone's sitting over here chirping. I'm like, what is that? Well, that's the LVC warning. So we're gonna, this is gonna be a full flight time, extreme full flight time, guys. And for me, this doesn't have enough punch to be a line of sight sport flyer for me. Like right now, I'm enjoying the flight. I absolutely love to fly, but my heart's not racing. I'm not brrr, like I generally end when I'm buzzing around this field, man. This for me is gonna be Explorer drone with a 5.8 gigahertz on it and doing some range test Explorer. Now, if I get to an area, like say I had an abandoned building, I didn't want to take my Spark out, I wanted to put this to work, I wanted to put its camera to work, then that's what this is gonna be for me. For me. Say that 100 times fast. That's I mean, as far as the sport flyer, it just does not have the punch for me, but it wasn't designed for that. It's a really smooth GPS flying drone. It has a little bit of speed. We'll come by here and buzz past our head here. Try not to clip my head. It has some speed. I'm not saying it's slow by any means, but as far as the Bugs 3 facade that we've learned to love, it just does not have that punch. I got beeping going on here. I want the drone to beep. I want the drone to beep, so we're gonna keep this close. Yawing is very slow. We have very slow yaw. You can't even do a funnel with this. There's your funnel. That's your funnels, man. We're gonna bring this back this way. Just kind of let it sit there. Eventually I would think return home would kick in once that LVC goes, which I don't like return home. So hopefully maybe we can, right here, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take off GPS mode and just put it in altitude hold mode, which is where you'll pick up a little bit more flyability speed. As you can see here, it's moving a little bit quicker, not crazy quick. I want to hear that drone beep. I want to hear the drone beep. That's going to be our full flight time in 10-mile-an-hour wind with no camera on it. Beep, beep, beep. And again, I'm in altitude hold mode versus GPS mode. Let's see here. I'm still showing 2 bars. I'm showing 2 bars on the drone off of here. So we're gonna fly it. We are gonna fly it. That yaw is horrible. It is not a quick yaw, guys. Like, I'm full yawed over. I'm trying to do some funnels. That's the funnel right there. There is no funnelage. But again, for what I plan on using this for, what I plan on using this for, long range FPV flights, canvassing buildings and throwing a Q6 on it, I don't need that here. This is not going to be a backyard flyer for sport, for extreme fun. This is definitely going to be an adventure drone. Still showing 2 bars on the drone from the controller. We're gonna keep flying it. I will tell you, well, I left this drone sit over there, like I said, until the drone started beeping. The LVC on the drone went, and it took a while to charge up, man. It took a while to charge up, maybe 2.5 hours on the stock charger, because again, it's a proprietary battery. I'm sure there's a way I could figure out how to charge it off of V6. But for now, we're going to continue using the proprietary battery and the battery charger without modding it, because that's kind of the way I like to do things. I like to do things stock for a while. That way you guys know what to expect. And then if I feel it needs improvements or modifications, I generally do that then. We are showing 2 bars still on the drone. So this thing's been beeping for a while. This will let you know how much time you have between the first beep to get home. Myself, I don't ever try to chance that. Myself, I generally do a run out and come back with full battery. Not full battery, but plenty of battery left to go. Beepity beepity beep. Beepity beepity beep. Still showing 2 bars on the drone. My controller's down to 3 bars. Okay, now I got single beeping and it's landing itself. There we go. Shut down the motors. So that's what'll happen. You'll get double beep. If you ignore that double beep, you'll have 2 bars down below on the right hand corner. Once it goes down to 1, this thing's gonna land itself in altitude hold mode. If you're in GPS mode, I'm assuming it's pulling back to return home. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. We are 20 minute, we probably got like an 18, 19 minute flight on this guy. That is epic. Later.